Hello, this is Art Gaines. I've been trying to get ControlNet to work, which is a tool you can use with AI art generation to modify an existing image and improve it or make whatever sort of changes you want. Specifically, ControlNet, there's different ways that ControlNet can do this. One is by detecting edges and preserving those edges, or by detecting shapes. It's a bit complicated, but I've been having a bit of success with it. I wasn't able to get like the actual ControlNet to work. I found a version that was actually a Lora, a plugin sort of, which gives me pretty good results. I can't compare it to the actual ControlNet because I wasn't able to get actual ControlNet to work, but it seems pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. At some point in the future, I'll hopefully get real ControlNet to work. But I've put together this pipeline which does all these other things as well, which I want it to do. For instance, it takes an image from Photoshop, shrinks it down to a manageable size that the AI can handle, and then lots of stuff happens in the middle. And then at the end, I have an upscaler that blows the image back up. So I'll walk you through this a little bit. So we have the SDPPP plugin. Plugin, is that the right word? I suppose it is. It's a node in ComfyUI, but it's a plugin in Photoshop. This grabs the image from Photoshop, which you can see down here. It's my work in progress, my painting of Durin standing over the mirror with the crown of Durin appearing in the water above his head, or below his head, I guess. And then I have this image resize node, which shrinks the image down to 1024 pixels tall, or wide. It depends on what the shape of the image is. In this case, it'll be 1024 pixels tall. And then I have a canny edge processor. This is a node which will detect edges. You can also set it to detect depths, which also works. I'm going to try both and see what I get with this one, but I have it set to canny edge detection. Let's see. I load my VEI here. And up here we have my checkpoint. Now, I discovered that I am technically running a low VRAM system. Even though I have 12 gigabytes, that sounds like a lot, that's still considered to be a low VRAM system. You're supposed to have at least 20 in order to, or I think something like 20 or even more in order to be able to run Flux comfortably. So what Flux GGUF is it's a compressed version of Flux. It's only like 6 gigabytes or something, which fits quite nicely into my 12 gigabytes of VRAM. You have to use these special loaders for this checkpoint. You can't use a regular loader like this one, load checkpoint, and you can't use the regular Flux loader either. You have to use this GUF loader. Then I have a power Lora loader, which I don't need for this. I'm going to turn these off. Toggle all, turn those off. The reason I have two power Loras here is one is for the upscaler, the other is for the ControlNet generator. And because I have two different samplers, one to generate the basic image and the other to upscale the image, I need to enter in the prompt twice, so I have two prompt boxes, and I'll put the same prompt in both. I didn't figure out how to get ControlNet upscaling to work yet. That would be helpful because this regular upscaler is quite limited. It wants to work in tiles to upscale an image tile by tile rather than the whole thing at once. It can manage the whole thing at once if it's like 2 times upscaling, but more than that, it gets a bit iffy. With ControlNet, you can tile without, breaking your system. I tried upscaling something by 4 times using this system, and it just froze and didn't give me any results. It could do 2 times, but not 4 times. Then I have, from my prompt, I have something called a flux guidance. This is sort of like the higher the value, the more the sampler will try to stick to your prompt. The lower the value, the more flexibility it has. I don't know what a good value is. I've seen people use 3.5. I've also seen people use 40, so I don't know which is better. Now we have the scheduler here, and I have steps to 40, and I can do 40 steps because I have the Flux Guff system loaded. I can increase the number of steps and it won't take forever. And I have the denoise set to 0.5. Because I'm using ControlNet, I could set the denoise all the way up to 1, and the resulting image would still have the same shapes and same basic outline, same composition as the original, but the colors might be different and that sort of thing. But if I set the denoise to 0.5, it will be exactly 50% different from the original image, which seems to work. At least it seems to be so far, so we'll see what we get. This is not really a tutorial. I'm just sort of trying to get caught up, trying to help you get caught up with what I've been doing over the past few days. It's a bit of a challenge making time both to produce content and to actually be productive. And I haven't quite figured out the best solution to that yet. But hopefully this is interesting, and I will make this workflow available in the description. You will definitely have to install various custom nodes and get the checkpoints from somewhere, which I might put explanations for that in the description. If you really want to be able to reproduce some of this, let me know and I will make my resources available. Here we have the sampler and the VD code. And so this box down here will show us our ControlNet modified image, and we'll be able to slide back and forth to compare it with the original. So we finally made it to the upscaler. We need an upscale model, and there's these various different settings. I'm going to set this to upscale by 2, and I don't want, do I want tiles? I don't know, I'll figure this out after I get the dimensions of my artwork ready. And at the end here we have an image comparer again, another image comparer that will compare our regular image with our blown up image. And then we have the SDPPP node again, which will send the image back to Photoshop. So here we have my original image, and I'm just going to modify this a little bit so that it demonstrates everything that my pipeline will do. Okay, now it's time for our prompt. And our prompt should be a classical oil painting of a stocky dwarf standing on a rocky outcrop above a deep, dark lake. His image is reflected in the water. A warhammer rests on the ground next to him. Let me add, in his reflection, 7 stars appear above his head. A warhammer. Reeds and green grass. Rocks protrude from reeds and green grass. A bird lands on his outstretched hand. That seems all right. Now let's check, we have to copy that. Copy that and put it in the other prompt box. And we don't need any of these Loras. These Loras are, I made a Lora that imitates my own art style, and I also made like a 1960s comic book Lora, but I don't need those. I'm sure Flux has the reference images that I want for this sort of thing. Should I use Canny Edge processor? No, I won't. I'm going to use the depth anything preprocessor, which means I have to set the Canny Lora, which I just remembered that I actually do need. I don't need the Canny Lora, I need the depth Lora, and I can set that to 1 because I'm not using any other Loras. Denoise. I want the denoise to be, let's try 0.5, that'll probably be alright. And we want the upscale by 2. I should probably add mountains, mist enshrouded mountains are visible in the far distance. Trees rise up from the darkness. One more look over here to see if I'm missing anything. And I'll probably have to stop recording in order to speed things up once I press the Q button, but here we go. Let's see what happens. Alright, so it's getting the image from Photoshop, shrinking it down. There it is. And there's our depth map. This might work, might not. And it spends a long time loading this clip, the negative prompt clip, but there's nothing in it, so I don't know why it spends so long doing that. That is a great mystery. Now it's generating our modified image. You know, I'm sure if some ComfyUI expert were to take a look at this pipeline, they'd probably have questions about it. I highly doubt this is as optimized as it could be, but it's giving me some good results, so I don't know. All right, let's take a look. What have we got? Interesting. I don't know why. You got some rather spectacular man boobs going on there. This is a bit too cartoony for my liking, but it's nice. I know, I'll run it again with the denoise set a lot lower and see what I get. Okay, so I ran it again, this time with the denoise set much lower, so it changed a lot less of the image. So it preserved a bit more of the grass, the different kinds of grass there. But you can see mountains in the distance there, and this vague bit of blurriness over here has been turned into some trees. I might want to preserve some of that in my painting, but not all of it. And for some reason the upscaler failed me, so I'm I don't know what's happening with that. I'm going to set that back down to 1024 and hope for the best for the next time I run this. I keep getting this error message attempting to release map, and it won't do it. All right, this is looking interesting. Let's blow this up here a bit. Take a look at the difference. That's pretty nice. And the upscaler appears to the upscaler did not work. The upscaler appears to have gone mad. Interesting. This is why you need to use the ControlNet for upscaling, it seems like. Man, that's terrible. Oh my. Let's try this one more time. 2048, 2048. Let's see if it sent it back to Photoshop. It did. Now it's terrible, but okay. Make sure that's turned off before we run this again. And another generation. This one turned out pretty cool. And the upscale worked to this time. It didn't give me any of those crazy results, but it's really not quite right either. The denoise was much too high for this. I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to try this again. This time with the denoise for the upscaler set much lower. Let's set it to, it should be very low, maybe 0.15, and see what we get with that. Oops, and of course make sure that you turn off that layer in Photoshop so that we are working with our original image still. Alright, some good results this time. This is the small version. And the expanded one, the upscaled version. It's added some scan lines in there, which I don't really understand why it does that. It's a bit annoying. Pretty good. And let's see, has it sent it to Photoshop? Yes, it has. Look at that. Original and new version. Pretty nice. Now I'm going to do one more demonstration here. I'm going to set the denoise on the main image to 1, and we'll get completely different colors for this one. So let's let's make sure that we turn off the top layer here and set the denoise value to 1. Okay, so we should get an image which has the same composition, but I suspect the colors will be quite different. All right, what are we going to get? Okay. Oh dear. We have a very stocky dwarf. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Yep. That sure screams during the first. Oh my. Oh look, we've even got the National Geographic symbol down at the bottom. I forgot to mention I added National Geographic to the prompt because thinking I would get more detailed stuff. Oh my. Anyway, stay tuned if you want to help me out so that I can continue bringing you stuff like this. You can check out my book, The Screaming Void. It's available on Amazon as an ebook, hardcover, and softcover. It's a good story if you like Alien or The Chronicles of Riddick or John Carpenter's The Thing. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm busy writing the prologue to a new novel, a fantasy novel this time. I have 2 novels on the go at the moment. There's the prequel to The Screaming Void and this fantasy novel. The idea came to me the other day and I just had to get it out as quickly as possible. So I'll get back to the prequel novel as soon as I can, once I've got this prologue out for the fantasy novel. It's about a knight of the Michelin Order who hunts monsters, and I think it's pretty cool. Thanks for watching.